Okay, now we're recording.
Okay, so good morning, Professor David, and it's nice to meet you. My name is Ravi. I'm a global ambassador from CSUSB, currently doing my master's from MSIST Information Systems and Technology, and I'm from India. And so far, I love this place, San Bernardino, especially the campus area. And I just heard that you are going for a foreign trip this summer. And we I love to hear something about that trip. So we will just start with an introduction. So can you please tell me something about you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited about this opportunity to travel with students to Kenya to study supply chains. And we're going to be studying them in ecotourism. So it's combining ideas of sustainability and principles of supply chain management. And supply chain management is a really important topic, and it is applicable in many different contexts. Anytime you make anything, anytime you build anything, anytime you provide any service, you have to organize everything, right? So that it arrives at the right time, in the right place, in the right condition, so that the consumer or customer is satisfied. And so that's what we'll be looking at. And we'll be getting some analytical tools to help support informed decision-making by those managers. So it's a really important topic. And Kenya is a very interesting country that I have some experience in. And so that's why I chose that as the location for this faculty-led travel program. I've lived in Kenya some years ago as a Peace Corps volunteer, and then more recently as a Fulbright scholar, as well as a volunteer. I guess you could say faculty volunteer. Anyway, so I have spent time there and enjoyed interacting with the people, as well as seeing the sites that they're famous for. It's a very famous tourist destination, of course, with the amazing wildlife that's there. And it reminds me a little bit of a California. In a compact area, you have warm ocean beaches, you have snow-capped mountains, you have the Rift Valley, and just these amazing environments. And well, why don't you ask me a specific question? I'd be happy to answer, but that's sort of my breakdown introduction of the course. I will say that there is a website, CSUSB website, that has a lot of information about the course, as well as a little introductory video that shows some of the animals and people that we will hope to be able to interact with on our trip.
Yeah. Thank you. So I will ask some specific questions that I have for you. So what would be the best takeaway from your experience according to the uh, foreign trips?
The best takeaway for the students that would go on this trip?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say a best takeaway because it's really a kind of an amazing experience. Of course, there's the knowledge about supply chains, which is very important and can be applied in a lot of contexts. But we could have that experience, in a classroom here in the U.S. So the fact that we would be traveling would be to experience those supply chains as they exist in these ecotourism organizations. And I think it's really important because ecotourism often happens in fragile environments where it's very important to be sustainable and to leave a very small footprint. Otherwise, the attraction that is bringing in people is going to disappear or be degraded. So it's really important that you have that sustainability aspect, the eco in the ecotourism. If you flood a bunch of people into a fragile area, it can be detrimental to the animals and the environment. But I guess I believe that travel is extremely educational in addition to the formal education of the topics that you're studying. Just being in a place that's different from your normal environment is very enlightening. And I would hope that students would have a lot of growth in having that experience and essentially a better understanding of the world and of global issues. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of your usual existence and not necessarily think about or understand what other communities are going through, how other communities think, the issues that other communities have to deal with. And so travel helps to really broaden the perspective of the traveler.
Sorry, thank you. And how about the opportunities, like in terms of an internship or like that the student can, you know, grab after that foreign trip?
Right. Well, it depends what a person wants, but I think any experience beyond your country of origin is useful if you want to pursue any sort of international aspect in your career. If you, and especially as we have more and more globalization and supply chains that cross national borders, having experience in that and understanding will, I think, serve the students very well if that's the type of career that they want. If they want one that is at least international in some aspect, or even if it's a job here in the US that works with other countries or has partnerships with people in other countries, I think it will provide benefit for those students.
Okay. And how long will the trip is, like for how many days and
Sure.
what? Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a 2-week trip. And in that time, we'll visit a number of different places, including, of course, seeing animals in some of the game parks, as well as having interactions with the culture. In particular, Simba Camp is a eco-tourist facility run by the Maasai, and they show their traditional ways of life. Yeah, 2 weeks. We start and end in Nairobi, and we travel around to a bunch of very interesting sites. And some of them are major tourist attractions, and then some of them are more off the beaten track, ones that I found when I was there or experienced when I was there and thought that they were a very good thing that other people would want to experience.
Okay. And I have a question about the scholarship. How the scholarship can help the students to, finance their trip?
Right. Well, my understanding is that there is a automatic $500 scholarship from CSUSB for any of their students that want to participate in one of these faculty-led study abroad programs. And I believe there are a number of other scholarships available, and I'm not familiar enough to be able to direct specific students to specific scholarships. But doing some sort of web search, I think there are a number of organizations that support, that believe in travel abroad and therefore support it in terms of scholarships.
Okay, thank you. So how this trip can help them to make connections, like, will there be students like from a diverse culture, or like, I mean, they are from here
Right.
only?
Well, I'm not sure where all the students who sign up will be from. I have tried to put the word out through all of the CSUs, all of the California State University system. So I would expect most of the fellow travelers would be from there. And then, of course, in country, when we go to these ecotourism establishments, it's essentially like a live interactive case study. So instead of reading about something, you're actually there. And instead of reading about how someone interviewed someone else and what their responses were, the students should be able to ask their own questions and interview the people who are running the supply chain, the decisions they have to make, why they made the decisions that they did, and those sort of things. So I think that they'll have a lot of interaction with supply chain practitioners that could be very valuable.
Okay, thank you. So I think the questions that I had, you answered all the things but in the last, if you want to add anything for this trip, I mean, this can help.
Sure. Well, I'm excited for the trip. I think Kenya is an amazing place to visit, especially if you've never been to Africa before, and it will be a life-changing opportunity, I think, for students to experience something that they haven't experienced before, and to learn more about the global aspect of our world. So I hope anybody listening to this is interested in showing up. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions, and check out the CSUSB website, which I believe has my contact information, and I look forward to traveling with you.
Thank you so much, Professor David. And I hope this trip goes well and the student come back with lots of memories after that. And yeah, I will be done here. And thank you so much for being here with us
All
today.
right. Yes. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I enjoyed our session, and I also hope for a successful and memorable trip.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor David.
All
Have
right.
a nice
Thank
day.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.